Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Conflict. I'm your host, Lynne Nash, attorney mediator out of Dallas, Texas, and really glad you joined me again. So, who is this crazy? Yeah, crazy Lynne is still talking about conflict. I'm going to continue talking about conflict. I promise I will bring some guests to come visit with us, but we're going to get a little bit of foundational work in first. So, attorneys think and ask questions: who, what, where, when, why, how. So we're going to take that same mindset and look at conflict. Now, we can't talk about how because, good Lord, that never ends. We can talk about who and we can talk about what. And today we're going to talk about where. Where is conflict? And you may be thinking to yourself, why does it matter where is conflict? I'll just avoid it. I just won't go there. See, I can do that. I can just make sure I never get into conflict. Yeah, wrong. Not going to happen. You're not going to be able to avoid conflict, which is the whole point of this podcast. Because I got tired of hearing people say, I'm a conflict avoider. Well, you're not really. You might be a conflict postponer, but I promise you're not really avoiding. So let's talk about it. Where is conflict? So, unfortunately, it's probably anywhere there are at least two people, and maybe even just one is necessary. I have all kinds of internal conflicts. I have all kinds of internal blockages I put in my way that I'm going to have to work through and I'm going to have to think through. And that's my own conflict 101. But most of the time, we're really thinking about conflicts with someone else, with something that has happened, with something that's about to happen. It makes me think about my parents are getting older, and what is it going to look like? What are they going to need? What do I need to do? How are my brother and I going to work together on this? And I'm trying to like come up with plans and contingency plans for contingency plans of plans. That is crazy pants on some level and good on others. But that's a conflict I'm building in my own head for something that I know there will be some conflicts at the time, but probably not near as many as I'm exaggerating my brain to have every little thing to be worried about. So, where does conflict occur? What situations are really primed to have a conflict arise and make a big scene, right? Because this is the big splashy stuff. I think that most people are like, oh dear God, help me figure out how to do this. So I will tell you, lately, i.e., the last several months, I won't lie, I keep saying I have too many tabs open in my brain. Do you know what that feels like? Like, my computer will update something. It's like, you must turn your computer off. And I'm like, holy mother of God, how do I do that? I have got every damn tab on this computer open. Oh my God. No, my brain gets the same way. It's got so many things open and then literally has to be rebooted to do something else. And I can't seem to know how to do that because I have too many tabs open. All the different thoughts, and I'm not really concentrating on any one thing completely. Hence, the reboot has to come so I can truly focus on the one thing. I think this is just kind of a prime spot where conflict's going to arise, right? I'm working away. I've got all these things open. The phone rings. Now I got to stop. And that came out of the blue. I didn't know that was going to happen today. So now I'm working on this. And then I stop my attention and I focus on the caller because I need to give them my full attention. And then someone in my family texts me while I'm on the phone and needs an immediate answer because I told you I have 4 children, right? Did I mention 4 children? I have 4 children. And they message me. What text is asynchronous? I get that there's a generation that doesn't seem to understand that, but it's asynchronous. You get it when you get it and you respond to it when you can. And so then I'm left with this sensation of, oh no, what if they need me right away and I can't get to it? And is there a problem? And now my brain's got a little bit of that open. And then I get back to what I was doing, but I've lost my train of thought. And I've probably become really frustrated by all of that. And I've tripped over shoes that were left downstairs. And now I'm yelling at the dog because obviously the dog did something. It's, I'm upset with myself because I have blown my schedule. I'm again behind, and I get behind all the time. It drives me crazy. I'd really try to be on time, but I really run about 5 minutes late. Be kind, y'all. If you're really prompt people, be kind to those of us who run about 5 minutes late. It's generally because we're trying to do too much. There's actually proof in the science. But one of my closest friends, she gets everywhere 15 minutes early, which means I'm about 30 minutes late for her everywhere I go. Like, and then it's like I'm making one more conflict. I'm trying. I don't, I mean, not every time, but most times. So it's just that internal conflict, of where I am causing my own stress to grow and multiply with every little thing and every little tab and every little thing. That's internal conflict. Yeah. Anybody got a sibling? Anybody got more than one? How about, I mean, there's no conflict to be found around family, right? Coworkers, well, office internal dynamics. What's that like? There's, there's endless amounts of conflict that can happen in your external professional life, your work, your job, your drive to go meet your friends, and you get cut off by 3 people. And by the time you get there, you're like, I hate the world. I mean, yeah, we've all been there. How about your partner? How about your partner? You both really, really do care, and you really do love each other, and you really do want to respect what the other person thinks, but you're still right. And you still want to get your way. Yeah, that's one of those places conflict's bound to happen. And how you choose to manage and handle it's going to make a big difference into whether you continue to be a partner in that partnership or not. Anybody driving right now? Anybody had a car cut them off? Anybody had a car weaving around them in traffic? I'm in Dallas, and I found out in the last year that Dallas, Fort Worth, the Metroplex of Dallas, and Atlanta have the highest car insurance rates in the country because of the drivers. And I got to tell you, post COVID, it's like everybody has lost their mind on the road. It's like the ability to be kind and generous and make space for others is just like out the window. I truly try and slow down, try and be gracious, try to show grace where you can on the roads. And a great big truck needed to get over to exit on a freeway, and he literally, I waved him over, and he got in, and he put his hand up and waved. I was like, that made my day. I mean, it's the little things, right? To avoid the conflict, to give the space, to not cut each other off, to show grace for and gratefulness for somebody letting you in. The avoidance of conflict and the choice of what to do when you find where you're in conflict, it's going to make a big difference to how you feel about it. Conflict is just everywhere. I mean, I'm prone to using bad language, and so we can say it this way, like shit happens, conflict happens. In fact, it's really bad if you're not having the other. So think about conflict as that as well. You need a little conflict to get that movement, to get towards something new. But how we react to the conflict, that's where it's going to make a huge difference, right? The real focus of Let's Talk About Conflict podcast is to teach you some skills and to teach you some ways to think about where conflict happens, when I have to be in it, how I'm going to manage it, how I'm going to manage myself, and why. Why am I going to do these things? Well, I'm going to do them because they're going to help me. I'm going to do them because they're going to help the situation. I'm going to do them because this is how I want to experience a situation that I can't do anything about, but I can control what I do. We're going to talk about those sort of things. Let me say again, I do not think of myself as therapist. I am not meant to be here as therapist, and I am not telling you that I have all of the answers in life. In fact, I just got finished telling you I have too many tabs open in my brain lately. What I am going to share with you is you can put skills in your thought processes to help you when conflict happens. You can do it. I work with lawyers mostly, but I work with some non-lawyers. I work with some very, very sophisticated negotiators. I work with people who don't know how to negotiate their way out of a paper bag. I had someone in mediation the other day who had done a lot of negotiating professionally. She's retired, but she'd done a lot of negotiating professionally. And it was just so smooth and so simple. And she, everybody knew the rules of the game, and we were playing Monopoly really beautifully together. And I said, "Oh, would you please come back and play tomorrow?" And she said, "I'm always available for hire." I was like, "I will give your name out." She understood the job at hand. I bring that story up to tell you, if you understand the job at hand when conflict arises, then you too will have the ability to know how to manage yourself. That's the goal of Let's Talk About Conflict. And that's what I'm here to try and help teach you. So, again, my name is Lynne Nash. I'm an attorney mediator, and this has been Let's Talk About Conflict. You can find us online at letstalkaboutconflict.com, and you can find us on Insta at the same handle, Let's Talk About Conflict. Let's Talk About Conflict. It is. It's not a .com on Instagram. And leave us a message. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what you think. The bottom line is, I believe that if you take the time to think through conflicts you've been through already, to look at conflicts that are happening where you are, you can be empowered by this to figure out how to go where you need to go. That's the goal here. And that's what we're going to do our darn best to figure out how to teach you. All right. Have a great rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. And we hope you join us again.